Oh yeah! It was that fucking time. Our blood was pumping, our hearts were beating, and we were a-sweating because Fastlane was here. Actually, we were like, what the fuck? Why is this even happening?
Most of the time it was just confusion.
This is like an event that had almost absolutely no build-up.
Nope.
And a lot of the matches were not warranted. So our expectations were extremely low. You were like asleep right before it started.
Not a lot. I considered calling it a well, this one's gonna stink, and just not watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that in this channel.
Yeah, except for that one time.
Except for that those couple of times we did.
But no, you know, I gotta say, before we tabulated at the end, I gotta say that this turned out to be a lot more entertaining than I thought it was gonna be. Not that there was a lot of stuff at stake.
Yeah.
It doesn't change that, but it actually turned out to be a lot more entertaining.
Considering the fact that there was like 0 stakes.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. Before we get to the main event, let's talk about the pre-show. Just one thing I wanted to point out, and that's that Dolph Ziggler seemed to be like high on fucking something.
Yeah, he did.
He was...
I was totally into it.
Fine. Cool. He's energetic. He's active. It looks like he wants to be there. That's cool. But where did this fucking personality change come from? And then when he's actually out there, you know, coming down the ramp for when his match was going on, he's all fucking, you know, back to that.
I'm not going to lie, though. I would much rather have that Dolph than the Dolph we currently have. Because it was a lot more entertaining.
Well, that's the thing. When the match that he was involved in, the 6-pack match, came out, he was just back to the Dolph we've been having. So I don't understand what
I'm thinking maybe he was like, I'm going to do my own thing in this pre-show.
I don't know what it was, but it was weird. But anyway, it was worth mentioning. It wasn't, but whatever.
Nope.
The pre-show had one match, and that was a 6-man tag team match between Breezango and Ty Dillinger on one side, and Mojo and Benjamin Gable on the other side. I'm sorry, Shelton Benjamin. And what's the fucking other guy's? I forgot. Gable. Anyway, on the other side.
What is his name?
I can't remember for some damn reason. But anyway, this continues fucking WWE's current fetish for 6-person matches.
Yeah.
Or 1 billion person matches. I mean, what do you got to say about this match?
It had Mojo.
So that immediately discredits it.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't horrid, but it was also really pointless and lame.
Yeah, the only benefit that came out of this match was that they did right by Ty Dillinger for once and actually let him shine in it and actually let him get the win. So Ty and Breezango win with Ty Dillinger with a vicious knee to Mojo Rawley's face, which was enough to make me happy about it.
Yeah, at least Mojo took it to the goddamn dome because he sucks.
But really, yeah, ultimately pointless because nobody's really doing anything with these characters.
No one knows the storyline was going on because it's on the website exclusively.
Yeah, and who cares about most of these people? And that, I mean, we want to care about, especially Ty Dillinger, but it's like they're doing nothing with him that really gets our attention. But whatever, at least they did right by Ty. And for some fucking reason, the commentators were obsessed with calling Fandango Fondango. Fondongo.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck, man? You've been pronouncing this fucker's name right forever. All of a sudden, you're Fondongo.
Fondongo.
Shit. But anyway, one last thought on this, and this shows, or I should say, this cemented in my mind at that point in the event what I was thinking about the tag team division in SmackDown. That it was getting bone dry. Because here are people that are in tag teams and they're being just thrown around like whatever, who cares? And I was thinking, man, this is why we're getting that New Day Usos match. Not knocking it, but I was thinking that's it because that's the only good thing we got going on. They didn't even build any of these people up. Shelton Benjamin and Gable.
It just happened.
You know, their storyline. They had a little storyline, but there wasn't enough momentum behind it to do anything. So that's what I was thinking at that point. But we'll get to what happened with that thought. But anyway, the fucking event started, and the first match was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev. Again, a match that had no foundation other than Rusev was kind of feeling like he should be in the picture somewhere.
And that's literally it.
That was literally it.
One episode of build-up.
And it literally happened a week ago, and that's how this match happened. This set a precedent for the majority of the matches. Yep. It just kind of happened.
It's like they forgot that they had an event. They're like, oh, shit.
But the conclusion to this was that old Shinsuke slips out of an accolade and gives Rusev 2 Kinshasas, one in the back of the head, no less. And, he takes the win. But
pretty expected.
What did you think about the match, despite how little foundation there was for the match to
I actually
even
thought
exist?
the match was pretty fun. It was pretty fast-paced. It got even more fast-paced as it went along. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty damn entertaining. Yeah. And considering the fact there was 0 stakes and you knew who was going to win. Yeah. It was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that's another thing. This event kind of proved that even though sometimes we could just know what the hell's going to happen, the results are usually predictable sometimes, that it can still be fun. And this was a good example of that. Obviously, we knew Shinsuke was going to win, so the thing was, can they provide us with an entertaining match? And the answer was, yeah, it was damned entertaining. It was really fun. Their styles meshed really well together. So as you said, it just flowed pretty evenly throughout. There was no lulls in the match. Nothing. It was fun to watch them work together. It was cool, man. It was really cool. And the crowd was into it. Mm. I was afraid that if there was that it could hurt Shinsuke to defeat Rusev, as over as Rusev is. But you know what? It actually panned out. It looked good. It was fun and entertaining. Cool, man.
If anything, I think the fact that there was 0 stakes helped people not get
over that. Yeah, I agree with that. The next one, this is where I was like, oh no. Yeah, this is I feared for my life at this point.
It was scary.
It was Bobby Roode versus Orton for the U.S. Championship. So those were the stakes. But here's the thing. The foundation for the stupid feud is literally, I put you low on a list. Yep. And they try to play up the fact that Orton wants the belt because it's the one belt he hasn't held.
Which makes sense. At least build that up a little more. But no, it's mostly the list thing.
Yeah, they go. The commentators make sure to focus on the fact that he put him somewhere on the fucking list. Yeah. And they obviously still mentioned the desire for the belt, but it was like, why would you even bring that up? That's fucking stupid. Yep. And we know that happened, and his desire for the belt has only been brought up recently. Again, 0 foundation for this to even fucking happen. What did you think about it? Oh, first let me give you the results here, and that's what's his fucking stupid name? Randy Orton turns Roode's top rope maneuver into an RKO, and he gets the win. Obviously, saw that coming a mile a fucking way, and it's not that I hate Randy Orton. I just think his time is over. Stop making him win these big fucking titles, and stop. It's done. I'm done. I'm over Orton. But anyway, what do you think about the match?
I could give you my thoughts on this match, but I have 0 because I could give less of a shit of what happened in this match. It sucked. So I guess I do have thoughts. But this was horrible.
Yeah, man.
This was so boring.
Stinker, man.
Talk about not only is Rude a boring face, but Randy Orton is a boring face. Yeah. So you got 2 boring faces facing off in a boring match for what seems like ages.
Yeah, it was long.
And I was fighting to stay awake.
The problem really with the match is, one, like you said, their characters are in places where you don't give a fuck about any of their motivations. And Rude being a babyface is one of the worst things ever. But the real problem is that this match seemed uninspired as fuck. Yeah. It was like
you can tell
phoning it in.
You can tell when Randy Orton doesn't give a shit. It seemed like no one gave a shit in this match.
And the thing is, Randy Orton can phone stuff in and still look good doing it. But like you said, you can tell. Yeah. And it was just like, whatever. I don't even care, man. Rude needs to go back to being a heel because this fucking bullshit sucks. He's uninteresting as fuck. And this match was trash. Again, technically it was fine. But nothing outrageously exciting happened in it. So that's a big sin when you don't give a shit about these characters. And I realize they have their fans, and that's cool if you like them. That's cool. We fucking don't at this current stage.
It was so boring.
Orton, for me, is just done. His time's over. Rude, what is this face character? And I don't give a fuck about this. And again! The fuck, man? I put you low on the list. And fucking, he doesn't respect you.
That's the worst part. Is the feud reason is horrible.
Yeah.
There is an actual way you could do it, but it's like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Which is the title. Like, he doesn't have that title. Cool, push that. Don't push the list thing.
Yeah.
And then the boring ass face going against each other. Boring ass match. Super long. And then you have freaking Jinder Mahal will run in and do nothing.
I was getting to that. Of course, the whole list thing is all part of the manipulations of Jinder Mahal, supposedly. And so Jinder comes out at the end of this match, attacks Randy Orton, but
instantly gets destroyed
by Rude, who comes in and attacks him and Randy Orton with a DDT. And so I guess we're getting this feud continued.
Again.
You know, this feud that really don't give a fuck about, personally. And I know you don't either. But anyway.
Sucks.
The next match, kind of reignited my hope a little. Surprisingly, because again, it's a match with zero foundation other than some bullshit cutaway backstage vignette where they had, what's her fucking stupid face? Natty and Becky and Naomi all fucking talking about, oh, we're better or whatever. Basically, it's a bragging rights match.
It was so
cooler than you.
It was so unimportant. I didn't even remember this happened.
Yeah, and it literally happened again an episode ago.
Yeah.
Of SmackDown. So it's like, well, I guess that's a match. Anyway, whatever. It's basically a bragging rights match. We're better than you. So what you think about the match? But before you tell me that, the result is Natty distracts. Natty provides a distraction. Carmella kicks Becky soundly in the face and pins her for the win. So Natty and Carmella win. What did you think about the match? Hit me with it.
Despite the fact that it should stink, and it should stink because it's got Natty and Carmella in it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of liked it. It was kind of fun. Now I don't know if it was that the bar was set so low with the previous match, and that this one was just kind of a step up, and thus I enjoyed it. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. Again, it's nothing great, but it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it too, man. It was pretty fun. Again, it helped that the previous match sucked donkey nuts.
Yeah.
So anything but that was good. But then on top of that, despite a kind of a sloppy start, it got good. It got interesting as far as this pseudo storyline goes. Yeah, I guess it's not even a story, but whatever. It was nice to see Carmella actually look competent in the ring. Actually get to put in some spots that looked like she knew what she was doing. So that was cool. Naomi, of course, always delivers. So A+. And Becky wearing some new ring gear that exposed some ass.
Look.
A+.
I'm not going to lie. I've been warming up to Becky recently. Mm-hmm. This little ring gear helped quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of want to buy it.
And wear it.
That's it.
Yeah, this was a fun little match. Again, throwaway garbage really in the end. But it gave the girls something to do. And at least it wasn't a 6-woman match like they're doing all the fucking time now.
At least it wasn't boring and lame.
But yeah, really it got us ready. It got us loose. It got us comfortable with the fact that maybe we didn't have to put up with Rude Orton throughout this whole thing. Maybe, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And that brought the next match. And that's the Tag Team Championship match. For between the New Day and the Usos. Now, I was kind of at odds with this fucking thing because, again, like I said previously, with the tag teams, it just seems that they don't know what to do with them anymore. It's kind of like the thing that's going on with the Bar and Raw. They've gone through everybody and nobody's a worthy opponent. Well, here are the Usos, and really, the story with Shelton and Gable, Benjamin and Gable, hasn't been built up enough. The other guys aren't really up to par. Nobody's really there for them, so they resort to the New Day. What really bothered me was we're just going to get a rehash. And these guys always provide a good show, so that's good. We knew it was going to be good.
Yeah, but it did feel like...
It felt like a retread. We
know that this is going to be good, so just put it on the card.
Yeah, and so I was at odds with that because it felt like a retread. But then on top of that, what bothered me was that all of a sudden they had antipathy for each other for no fucking reason. Like, they left on good terms with each other. We respect each other. This is cool. We're cool with each other. Let's go do other things. And all of a sudden, just because we need a match, we're yelling at each other and so that bothered me. But as it turns out, that was all a clever ruse. But let's talk about the core match before we get to what happened at the ass end of the match. First, the results. There is no official decision. We'll get to that right now. But what did you think about the match between the Usos and the New Day up to that point?
I think, as always, it was pretty damn good. Now, we do see, as the commentators point out, we do see them kind of using each other's moves as a kind of way to own each other even more concretely. By the way, they killed that completely. The commentary kept pushing that. We get it. They're using each other's moves. Stop. But as always, it was a pretty solid match. I wouldn't say it was their best match, but it was pretty good.
Yeah,
here what we got to.
I'm of the same frame of mind. I was like, this is good. This is great, but it's not like their previous matches, like their recent previous matches together. I was like, but it was good, you know. So I was like, all right, I could dig this. This is, I mean, obviously working good. I really dug the fact that they were using each other's moves. That was neat. And like you, I was like, why the fuck do they keep on telling us that we can see what's in front of it and stop? And like you said, it ruined the fact that they were doing that because these fuckers kept pushing. Oh, look, they're fucking doing the quadruple oos, just making shit up.
There was a point where it got so ludicrous that to mock it, we went, "Oh, look, they're going up the they're going up the ropes like the Usos do. They're breathing air like the Usos do because that's how horrible it was."
Yeah,
every little thing they would do.
Not then. The wrestlers themselves weren't being horrible. Good. The commentary was horrible.
Terrible.
But anyway, whatever. It got to the point where. It got to the point in my mind where I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it's a retread, and I'm fine with it, but what's the point? And just at that fucking moment, they turned the fucking key on us. You know, they pulled the old rug from underneath our feet, so to speak.
Now, I will say that this rug was set up last week, but again, 1 week
see, the thing is that these little scenes have been set up for a while with a variety of tag teams. You know, the little stare down from the Bludgeon Brothers. You just didn't know exactly when they were going to pull the trigger on it and with who specifically. But yeah, last week they had a little stare down with the New Day, and it paid off here. So before an official decision was reached, before anything could actually happen between the two teams, the Bludgeon Brothers come out and basically lay fucking waste to everybody.
Literally destroying Xavier Woods' spine, apparently.
Yeah. They use their wide array of moves, of devastating fucking moves to just put everybody down immediately and then double over on them by making the situation worse. And yeah, the worst of that was that Xavier Woods was slammed onto the steps, and apparently it seems that he actually got injured. And I told you when it first happened, I was like, damn, he fucking hit his head.
Yeah, I thought
you were like, it's the angle.
I thought it was an angle thing, but then they replayed it, and I was like, oh, no, that head bounced off that corner.
It definitely looked like he hit his head, and then he was twitching, and I don't know how much of that was acting or actual response, but apparently he got a thoracic spinal contusion, and he was in the hospital. I don't think WWE would go that low to exploit that for a story.
Yeah.
And again, the hit seemed legit, like he actually got injured. The problem now is, one, he's injured, potentially. I mean, I think it's real. I don't think they would go that far, even though they've gone far before. Yeah. But the point is, I don't think they would exploit that. We don't know right now,
but it seems like it's
genuine. It seems like it's genuine. And this poses a problem because, as we know, when wrestlers injure somebody else by accident or on purpose, sometimes there's repercussions for that. So now they're finally bringing the Bludgeon Brothers up to, taking out actual people versus jobbers. And what will this mean for them if this injury is legit?
Yeah.
That's a big question. Hopefully it doesn't bury them because that tag team division needs them right now. So we'll see what happens. Tragic that if that is true, which I think it is, that happened. But
they did use their bludgeons.
Yeah, that's they're very obviously not real bludgeons. But anyway, the next match was Charlotte versus Ruby Riott for the championship. The big thing for me here was I knew Ruby Riott was gonna lose. Obviously she was gonna lose. She can't win. The big thing for me was, again, there was build up for this, but literally like a week ago, we found out the motive behind the Riott Squad. Literally.
Yeah.
This is the reason I'm doing this. Basically to take Charlotte down a few pegs. Again, having seen Ruby Riott on NXT, it was like, I guess that's what she's doing. I suppose she's a heel now. Whatever. And the fact that they booked them so weakly up to that point. It's only been these last 2 shows where they've actually gotten the upper hand in a more legit fashion, other than just beating them up en masse in a group form. So there was not a lot there to chew on to give you the idea that Ruby Riott could be a legitimate threat, like we know she could be. So all I really wanted out of this match was, can you please just make her look competent for once? Please? Can we stop booking her like a piece of shit? Please? That's all I wanted. But anyway, as I said, the results is predictable, as in we knew Charlotte was going to win, and that was via a vicious spear to Ruby Riott that she turned into a figure 8, which led to Riott tapping out immediately. But was that all worth it? What did you think about the match?
I thought it was good that they had Ruby Riott controlling for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a little sloppy. Like, there was several parts where you're like, ooh, that doesn't look good. There's a lot of clear missed hits, or not even like convincing hits. But for the most part, at least she didn't look like shit. And at least she did stuff. And at least, like I said, at least she did something. You knew what was going to happen. It was okay. It wasn't great. We've seen her do way better in NXT. But at least she did something, and it was a huge improvement over what she's been doing over the last couple weeks. So I can't really complain.
Yeah, I was content with the match. The weird thing is some of the sloppy spots were more on Charlotte, which was odd.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing against any of them, but there was definitely some sloppiness in the match.
Yeah. But it was good to see her actually use some of her array of moves, or versus none at all. Until recently, she's barely been using some of the moves besides a Riott kick. So it was good to see that. It was good to actually see her control. It was nicely paced. It's a good step forward, is what I'll say. I wasn't bored like fucking Bobby Roode and boring. I mean, I'm sorry. I was gonna bring boring Corbin into it. Bobby Roode and RKO and fucking Orton. I wasn't bored, so that's in itself is an improvement. But yeah, man, I was actually very pleased. Again, the end was predictable, but I'm glad that they didn't just fucking squash the shit out of her.
True.
Now they can move forward. Now they can go, hey, look, this is an actually competent group. There's an actual threat here. The question is, where will they move forward with this? Because once Charlotte attains the win, we have Asuka come out and basically verify that she has chosen Charlotte to be who she will go up against with in WrestleMania for the belt. So where does that leave the Riott Squad? If their target was Charlotte, where does it leave them in the meantime? They could still do something, obviously, since they're in different brands, Asuka and Charlotte. But it raises that question. Where they go? Yeah. Is this the end of this feud? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But it was a hopeful step forward. It was good to just see her do good. Something. But yeah, anyway. The next match was the final match. And, oh wait, before we even get there, I just got to point this fucking out here. First of all, Liv Morgan screeches like a fucking banshee out of hell.
Yeah.
But that's really not going to bother me. But I just did notice this later when Asuka came out. And, Asuka is, of course, incredibly talented. We know this. We love her. She's beautiful to boot. But, I don't know, man. She needs to buy a fucking toothbrush because there was a couple of fucking yellow teeth in her mouth that really fucking stood out.
There was literally a couple. Literally
yeah, it was two.
They were like little corn kernels.
Yeah, that was fucking weird. I was like, damn, those motherfucking two teeth. Those two shining like gold. Dirty ass gold.
That being said, I'll still put my wang on her teeth.
Yeah, dirty ass teeth might get an infection. But anyway,
it's all right.
The last and final match was a 6-pack challenge match. And here was the thing. This one, I was kind of looking forward to because...
You had to bring up the tooth, dude.
I had to.
You did.
I was kind of looking forward to this one because knowing WWE, they could literally take away the match we've all been waiting for away from us.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, it could happen. And the possibilities were multitude. And the biggest threats were John Cena, who you know is going to get a big match. And 2, Dolph Ziggler, who I thought, man, they're bringing him back. They really went out of his way to keep him on board after he wanted to leave.
He was all happy in the beginning.
He was like fucking high as hell at the beginning. I was like, there's a fucking chance they might actually have Ziggler win, go to WrestleMania for the main event, and then make us wait a year of anticipation, quote unquote, as WWE would see it, for the actual dream match. So there was a possibility that AJ could lose. So that got me interested in this match. But most of all, I was interested because of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and the storyline that's going on with them. Because really that's the most interesting thing going on in SmackDown right now. I know some people don't like it, but you know what? Shit, compared to some of the other stuff going on there, that's actually interesting. You know, I'm involved with it. I don't know about you, but anyway.
It's better than Bobby Roode's storyline.
Fuck, my asshole bleeding is. I would rather use wasp nests as binoculars than fucking watch Bobby Roode versus Orton again. But anyway, the 6-pack challenge was for the belt, of course. Anybody could pin anybody and get the championship and become the person that goes to WrestleMania against Shinsuke. The people were AJ Styles, John Cena, Boring Corbin, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Zolf Diggler.
Damn it, I was going to say it.
Dilf Ziggler also. But yeah, anyway, what'd you think about this match? First, let me tell you the results, and that's that AJ takes Kevin Owens out with a phenomenal forearm after Owens tries to take advantage of John Cena's weakness, takes him out, and retains his belt, and of course is going to see Shinsuke. Thankfully they didn't fucking ruin that, so we're going to get to see that. But what did you think about the match overall?
I thought it was pretty damned good, especially considering the fact that Boring Corbin was in it.
Yeah.
I was fearing Boring Corbin's involvement. And then when you brought up Zilf Dogler's possibility of a win, I was like, oh man, they might do that. Nothing against Zilf Dogler. I just don't want him to win.
Yeah. We liked everybody in this match except for Boring Corbin.
Yeah. But
definitely we didn't want anything but AJ to win.
Yeah. But yeah, it was actually really good. Really fast pace towards the end. Mm-hmm. They did use a lot of the wrestling logic in that someone clears the ring and there's no one gets up for like hours.
Yeah.
But at least they used it to a good effect.
Yeah, they conveyed it in a very good way. And it started off early with Cena AAing the fuck out of everyone, which gave us a confrontation between him and AJ, which again, that's good storytelling because it gives you that dread, that possibility that AJ might just lose right there. But everybody got a chance to shine. That's a good part. And the meatiest part for me anyway, I don't know if you'll agree with this on this with me, but the meatiest part was the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
You know, at one point it's just them two in the ring. We've set the precedent for there to be mistrust between them, and on top of that, Shane as at ringside. You know, so the amount of storytelling there being told was fantastic. Sami Zayn actually laid down for KO. KO chose to not trust that, and they just, went balls out against each other. Mm-hmm. Some vicious spots, and then at the end of all this, Sami Zayn, kind of taunts Shane for, telling him, are you everything you like? Are you seeing what you like to see? And at that point, KO comes in for a kick. Sami Zayn moves out of the way, and Shane takes it in the fucking chompers.
Yep.
And this eventually leads to KO almost getting a cover on somebody, and Shane getting involved. And then Sami Zayn almost getting a cover, and Shane getting involved again, depriving them of the win. So that is only going to escalate that storyline all the further, and brings up the whole Daniel Bryan involvement as well.
There was a point in this where I kind of half expected Daniel Bryan to come out.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen, obviously, but it's a good way to advance that storyline.
Yeah. And that's not the only thing. I think possibly we're going to get maybe a Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin angle. Because for some fucking reason, Boring decided to take Ziggler out into the fucking crowd and made it like his goal to fucking take him out. So maybe that's a thing. But the point is, overall, there was a lot of storytelling being told here. Especially with KO and Sami Zayn and everybody involved with that. But also with John Cena. Yeah. So he didn't win, obviously. And he was not pleased. And this, again, they're teasing us with so many possibilities. And we're at both. I think we're both at odds with the idea that the Undertaker may or may not come back. But we'll see where that goes. But I thought it was just a great match, not only in pace but in terms of all the storytelling that it was doing. This was a big winner for me. This match, it was awesome.
Pretty good, yeah. I was kind of not expecting it to be that good. I don't know why.
Because it's fucking Fastlane.
That's a good point. I've had a bad history with Fastlane. But, yeah, it was actually really good. Surprisingly good, I would say.
Yeah. So, anyway. So, that was the whole event, man. And it actually went by pretty fast. Except for the fucking rude fucking Orton
Dude, there was a
match.
point. There was a point in this where I wanted to kill myself. And that was that Bob Backlund, I was going to say.
What the fuck?
We can't say his name. Randy Orton freaking rude match.
Yeah, man. It was... That was a stanker. Yep. Stank.
It wasn't good.
But anyway, let's give this a final rating. What do you give this little sucker? This is the last event before the big one, WrestleMania. What'd you give it? What do you give this? Give it to me.
This is an interesting one because it has one really horrible match, and all the other matches, or most of the other matches, had zero drive behind them, other than like a couple of them. So really, when it comes to like the full picture, it's not very important pay-per-view. That being said, it was pretty damn fun. And other than that one match, all the other matches were cool.
Yeah.
So I gotta give it a high marks, despite the fact that the build-up was so bad. Yeah. Can't shit on the actual pay-per-view for its shitty build-up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a strong 8.
Yeah, man, this fucking surprised me how much I enjoyed it. And you know what? Maybe it's not only that we had some good matches, but it's also that there was no pressure to like this.
Yeah.
There was literally, we had nothing going into this. Like, whatever.
Again, I was considering just being like, wow, this one's going to suck. Not watch this one. Thankfully, didn't.
Yeah, man. But there was so many positives in this. The one negative was fucking rude versus my asshole. Fuck, that sucked. But everything else was kind of a positive. Even the fucking stupid pre-show match. We had Ty actually look good. And the crowd was fucking into it. And he got to kick Mojo Rawley in the fucking face. That alone wins an Academy Award for some reason.
You know what wasn't great? Corey Graves' call of calling his little collar the Megamind cape.
Oh, fuck.
I like that reference, dude.
Fucking like 10-year-old reference and shit.
Yep.
Anyway, the Shinsuke Rusev match, super fun, man. The stupid tag team match between the girls shouldn't have been cool, but it was. It was fun. It was entertaining to watch at the very least.
Poke Becky's butt.
The tag team championship match, great ending despite the kind of tragic result for Woods.
We'll see what happens there.
Great fucking ending. Hopefully this doesn't spell the end of the Bludgeon Brothers.
Or freaking Xavier Woods.
Or Xavier Woods, yeah, literally. Glad to see my girl Ruby Riott actually get to do stuff. So happy that happened. Cool to see Asuka finally challenge Charlotte, because that's really what I wanted. I didn't want Asuka versus Alexa or something like that.
I'm kind of curious if this is going to lead to her being in SmackDown and taking everyone down there.
Perhaps, and that would be okay, That would be okay. And of course, the big winner for me was the final match, the 6-pack match. It was fucking awesome. So through and through, a shockingly good event. Very fun, despite almost zero stakes.
Yeah.
And I'll give it a fucking 9 because I was entertained as fuck. Anyway, this is Ahab. That's Goontick. We're the Wrestle Ramblers. Hit like, share, subscribe. We don't only do the event reviews. We also just shoot the shit about wrestling in general. So check all our videos out. We don't have that many yet on this particular channel, but they're coming. But anyway, we also have a movie and general chat channel. called $10 Slammer. Check that out. Link in somewhere. Mm-hmm. And we're out.